Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see simple shoe brake. Now already we have seen shoe brake is a external brake, external radial brake. Now we will see the design of simple shoe brake. Let us say this is a brake drum. Here this is a brake drum. Now here it is a brake drum, brake drum, and let us say this brake drum is rotating in clockwise direction. Here our motion is clockwise rotation, right? Rotating in clockwise direction. Now this brake drum is connected to the shoe externally. The shoe is externally. This is a shoe here. This is a shoe with friction lining. These are the friction lining. These are the friction lining or friction material, right, for braking purpose. And this is a shoe. This is a shoe, right? Now now here there will be a link. The arrangement will be like this. There will be a link. This is a link. Now on this link, again there will be one more link like this. There will be one more link like this, right? Now here one end of this link, here one end of this link is pivoted. Here it is pivoted at this location. It is having pivot, right? Now on and at another end we are applying effort, force P. This P is applied effort. This P is applied effort for braking purpose, for braking purpose. Now let us say the distance of normal reaction from pivot and distance of effort from the pivot. Let us say from pivot distance of effort is L, and distance of normal reaction from the pivot is X, right? And distance of friction force, we are going to show normal reaction and friction force. Let us say this distance is A. Let us say this distance is A. Now this distance we have considered, and let us say the shoe angle is, here shoe angle is that the angle at center of drum with with shoe. This angle is, we are considering 2 theta. This angle we are considering 2 theta, and 2 theta is called shoe angle. It is a shoe angle, right? Now whenever this brake drum is rotating in clockwise direction, see for this rotation along clockwise direction, the rotation is clockwise. Therefore this point, the point at contacting point for friction, is moving towards right, is moving towards right. This is the motion of this point. Therefore friction force will be towards left. It is mu n into r, mu into rn, sorry, mu into rn, coefficient of friction into normal reaction, coefficient of friction into normal reaction. And the effort due to the linkage, right, due to the lever, let us say this is a lever. Due to this lever and effort, the lever is applying, or the through lever and through brake shoe and through friction lining, we are applying normal reaction on this brake drum. Now for this action there will be a reaction on shoe. For action there is a reaction on the shoe. Therefore if I see on shoe, there will be a normal reaction like this, rn opposite to this action, and friction force will be like this towards right. This is rn, mu rn, and rn is normal reaction. Rn is normal reaction, mu is coefficient of friction at the contacting surface, right? Now if this shoe angle 2 theta is less than or equal to 45 degree, it is called short shoe. It is called short shoe. And whenever this 2 theta is more than 45 degree, it is called long shoe. It is called long shoe. Now for short shoe, there is a uniform pressure at contacting surface. At contacting surface, at this contacting surface, there will be a uniform pressure for short shoe. And therefore because of this uniform pressure, there is a uniform wear rate at contacting surface, right? And because of this long shoe, whenever this 2 theta is more than 45 degree, at this contacting surface there will be non-uniform pressure. Therefore there will be a non-uniform wear, right? Now here if we consider short shoe, let us consider short shoe, and rotation is clockwise, rotation is clockwise. Therefore on shoe and lever, on shoe and lever there are forces shown, right? These are the forces shown. Now consider moment about pivot. Summation of moment about pivot must be equal to 0 for equilibrium condition. For short shoe, we are looking for short shoe. Summation of moment about pivot must be equal to 0. Check the applied effort P is creating moment in clockwise direction at distance L. Therefore, applied due to applied moment, the moment is F P into L. Now, again, the normal reaction Rn is creating moment in anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, minus Rn at distance x into x, and frictional resistance mu Rn is creating moment in clockwise direction about pivot, about this pivot, right? Therefore, plus mu Rn at distance a into a must be equal to 0, right? Now, P into L is called applied moment. P into L is applied moment here. We have applied this effort, or applied effort, or we can say applied moment also, right? And mu n into a, this is a frictional moment. This is because of frictional force, which is called a frictional moment. Now can I say the applied moment P into L is adding in frictional moment, means frictional moment is helping applied moment for braking action. Such type of braking is called, the frictional moment is assisting applied moment. Such type of braking is called self actuating brake. Self actuating brake, or it is also called self energizing brake. Self energizing brake. Now here for such type of arrangement, if a brake drum is rotating in clockwise direction, then it is self actuating or self energizing brake. Whenever frictional moment supports applied moment, then it is called self actuating or self energizing brake. Now we will find what will be the magnitude of applied effort required. What will be the magnitude of applied effort required? Now therefore, can I write here P into L is equal to Rn x minus mu Rn a. Now consider Rn common. Therefore, from this, P is equal to Rn x minus mu a divided by L. Right. This is the effort required. This is the effort required. Now, my dear students, in this formula, if this mu a becomes more than or equal to x, if mu a becomes more than or equal to x, then applied effort is less than or equal to 0. Whenever this mu a becomes equal to x, the applied effort is 0, and whenever this mu a more than x, the applied effort is negative. That means there is no need of effort for braking action. Already there is a brake, already braking has done, no need of braking effort. Therefore, such type of brake is called self locking brake. Such type of brake is called self locking brake, right? No need to apply external effort. Such type of brake is called self locking brake. Now for example, the self locking brakes are used in lifts, during return, cranes. The self locking brakes are used in lifts and cranes, right? Now now whenever a is, let us say, whenever a is positive, more than 0, that is whenever a is more than 0, can I say the x minus a, that is effort, is decreasing. Therefore it is called self energizing brake. Self energizing brake. For self energizing brake, this a must be more than 0, right? Now here, but we have to avoid self locking tendency. Always we have to avoid self locking tendency, right? Therefore, to avoid self locking, can I say, to avoid to avoid self locking, can I say here, this mu a must be less than x, right? Or equal to x, right? Therefore, can I say this a must be less than or equal to x by mu for avoiding self locking. Therefore, always we have to design a brake for self energizing condition, but not for self locking condition. For vehicles, the brake design is for self energizing. It must be self energizing, that is self actuating. It is also called self actuating, but not self locking, but not self locking. This is the condition we have to use while designing brake, or we have to satisfy while designing brake. Therefore 0 must be less than or equal to a must be less than or equal to x by mu. For this condition we have to design the brake. Now let us consider anti-clockwise rotation of brake drum. Let us say this is a brake drum. Now for this brake drum, it is rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Let us say this brake drum is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, right? Brake drum rotating in anti-clockwise direction, right? And let us say there is a brake shoe, there is a brake shoe, right? This is a brake shoe with friction materials, and there will be a lever, there will be a lever like this, there will be a lever, right? Now for this lever, let us say here it is pivoted, here it is pivoted at this location, pivot, and from friction material the pivot is at distance, vertical distance is a, and horizontal distance of this friction lining, that is normal reaction from pivot, is x, right? And let us say effort is applied on lever. This is the applied effort on lever. On this lever, effort is applied at distance L. Let us say from pivot, it is applied at distance L. The effort is at distance L. Right. Now, for anti-clockwise rotation, can you say that on this brake drum, the friction, see, the brake drum point, on brake drum, the point is moving due to anti-clockwise rotation, it is moving towards left side. This is a motion, this is a motion, and for this motion there is a opposite friction, that is mu rn. This is on brake drum, means on shoe there will be a action reaction pair, therefore towards left there will be a frictional moment towards left, that is mu rn on brake drum, and normal reaction will be in vertical direction only. On shoe there will be a normal reaction in vertical direction, right? Now for such condition, if I consider summation of moment about pivot is equal to 0, let us check. Now as direction of rotation is changed, direction of friction will change, right? Now let us consider, now this p into l will be clockwise direction. See, applied effort p is creating moment in clockwise direction like this about pivot, right? Now frictional force Rn, mu Rn is creating also in anti-clockwise direction. Frictional moment is creating in anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, minus mu Rn into at distance A. And this normal reaction Rn is also creating in anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, minus Rn into x at distance x is equal to 0. Therefore, here PL is applied moment. PL is applied moment, right? And mu Rn A is frictional moment, frictional moment. Now can I say the frictional moment is acting in opposite direction to the applied moment? Therefore it is not self actuating, not self actuating, or also called not self energizing, not self energizing, right? Whenever frictional moment is not supporting applied moment, then it is called not self actuating or not self energizing. Now in this case, find the effort required. Therefore PL is equal to Rnx plus mu Rna, which is nothing but P is equal to Rn x plus mu A divided by L. This will be the effort required. Means we need more effort. See, x plus mu A. In x, mu A is adding. Therefore, we need more effort. More effort in case of non-self actuating or non-self energizing braking required. And in case of self energizing braking, the less moment is required. The less amount of moment is required. Now, when there is a long shoe, let us say long shoe, that is non-uniform pressure, long shoe brake, that is non-uniform pressure or non-uniform wear, that is 2 theta, shoe angle is more than 45 degree. In this case, we have to find equivalent coefficient of friction, that is mu dash is called equivalent coefficient of friction, equivalent coefficient of friction. And we have to use this equivalent coefficient of friction for the calculation, which is nothing but mu dash is equal to, the formula is 4 mu sine theta divided by 2 theta plus sine 2 theta. This formula we have to use for in case of long shoe. And this frictional force, the frictional force, which is nothing but a frictional force, is nothing but mu dash Rn. This formula we have to use, right? Now for such type of braking, let us say this is a braking simple shoe brake, let us say this is a simple shoe brake. Whenever brake drum, this brake drum is rotating in for such type of effort arrangement, lever arrangement, whenever this brake drum is rotating in clockwise direction, it is self actuating or self energizing, and whenever it is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, it is non self actuating or non self energizing. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will see band brake.